Hello, let us practice again. Yeah, and we are going to practice something very important. We are going to practice something very important. Let me change the directorate to where our file is located that we are going to practice from. Yeah, so that is our directorate that we are going to work from, and as you can see, we have there some file that is already there for us to use for our practice. So what we are going to see is, if you have just come across a file, okay, as an investigator, you have just come across a file. You don't know whether it is hiding something, you don't know whether it is just a plain file, or, okay, you have no idea about that file. What do you do? It's what we are going to see. So when you just meet a file of that kind as an investigator, number one you're supposed to do is to check its permissions, so that if it has a writing permission, you can first remove it, because the more you deal with tools, those tools will be writing on that file and changing the integrity of the file, and of which, as you know, that will cost you as you move on with the case. So we are first going to see the permissions of the file. Yes. So as you can see, it has read and write permissions, which means if you want, you can write on that file. Even when you don't want, the tools can write on that file. And so our first step we are going to do is to remove the writing permission, so that it can be only a read permission. So we are going to change the mode of that. We are going to change the mode of that file, which is, yeah. So right now, if we go back and see the permissions of the file, you can no longer write on that file. It's now a read-only file. So since it's now a read-only file, I can clear this. We can now keep its integrity by giving it hashing this file, by hashing the file. We can keep integrity by hashing the file. So let us use the we can use the professional one, which is SHA-56. Yeah, and we are hashing That's the file we are hashing. We enter. So that is the hash of our file cyber. So after hashing that file, as you know, investigators don't work from the original file, because in case of anything, in case of any slight mistake, you'll have lost it all. So you make a bit by bit replica or bit by bit copy of that very file, so that you can work on the replica of the file and you keep the original file, so that in case of anything you can still go pick the replica, you can still make another replica and use that. So let us use the dd file, our input file, it is cyber, and our output file is, how should we call it? We can give it a name. Okay, it is case. We enter. So as you can see, we have successfully done a replica, a bit by bit copy of the file cyber. So you can see it is 31072 plus 1 records that were in, and it's the very same figure that has been given out, 31072 plus 1 records out. So now we can check the hash file, the hash of our bit by bit copied file, so that we can be able to see if the hash is still the same or if the integrity has changed. The first list, and you see, so we need the SHA-256 sum of our case. So from the, if you can go through all the hash, it has remained the same. The last figures are 9478 of the case file, and even when you go up on the cyber file, the last figures are 9478, meaning we have made a successful bit by bit copy of that file, and we have kept its integrity. Yeah, remember, this is a file we don't know about, we don't have anything about it, and we are just trying to investigate it. We are just trying to investigate the hidden data. We don't even know if it has the hidden data too. Maybe it is not even there. So we are just doing our simple investigation. Now, although we have made a replica of this file, but still, and we have seen the hash is the same, but still, we have also to see its permission, because the DD, which helps us to make a bit by bit copy, it doesn't change the permissions, or it doesn't see through the permissions. So we have to see the permissions. In case the writing permission is still there, we still remove it. So it is ls lh, and this time our file is case. So if you can see, our copied file or our replica file still has permissions to write, so we can remove those permissions so that we cannot write on that file by changing the mode of the case file. If we go back and see its permissions again, so its permissions has changed to an only read file. So that is our case file that we are going to now use for investigations. We have left our original file, which is cyber. We are now going to carry on and move on with the replica file, which is the case. Now, since we have got the case file, we are going to use either bit by bit replica or bit by bit copy of the cyber original file. Now we can start our investigations. Now, how do we start our investigations? We can start our investigations by checking the metadata. Okay, checking the file. Let us say file to see which type of file it is. Case. So we can see our case file is a JPEG image data. It has a JPEG image data. So if it is an image, we can see, okay, we can first display it and see which type of image is it, the way it looks. Yes. I think it's still processing here. So that is how our image is. Now, if we have seen our image, we can see its metadata. Yeah, we can check its metadata, and we shall use our EXIF tool to check its metadata. Now, we have started our investigations. You see, although it is an image, but it is not showing us the geolocation of this image. It's not giving us a camera that took this image. All that, it's data we should expect from an image. Which camera took that image, at what time, where, all that is supposed to display on an image. But as we can see, it's not displaying anything about that. So from there, you start getting some doubts. But those doubts don't give you a conclusion. That doubt is not a conclusion. Yeah, because maybe it's a real image, but it was passed through like WhatsApp, it was passed through maybe YouTube or any other media channel. So that media channel will first remove those geolocations and the original metadatas, yeah, for protection and for the protection rights. Now, let us go ahead, since we have seen, inspected the metadata, let us go ahead to what they call structural inspection. Yeah, let us do the structural inspection. We try to see inside that file, is there any other thing or so. The structural inspection, we shall do it using our tool, which is the XXD, and we are going to request it to give us the structure of our file, which is called case. But we don't want all the structure because it is too much, it is too big. For the start, we need only the head, and we need just the first 20. Now, remember our image was a JPEG image. Now you can go and check on, you can just go and search on your Google and ask Google, how is a JPEG image supposed to be? How is its structure supposed to be? Yeah, structure. It is a structure. Of JPEG. Yeah, it was a structure of a JPEG image. Structure of a JPEG. But this the pixels. Okay, this one has not given me what I wanted, but all I wanted us to understand is the pixels or the structure that is supposed to start a JPEG image, and after the start, after we have seen FFD8, FFEO, E0, 0010, that is the real structure of a JPEG image, but still we can see even its end, because the head we have seen the start. How is the start supposed to be? Now we can run to the end and we see, although at the start maybe it is a JPEG image, but what of the end? Does it still remain a JPEG image? So you also inspect all these things on any file you have. So this time we can see the tail, and you see so still, if you can see our last line here, it is of a JPEG image. Yeah, you'll search these things and you understand them very well, you know them very well. The structure of how a JPEG image is supposed to be in the pixels, how it is supposed to be. That's the real structure. Now, although we have seen its start and its end, what about in the middle there? What if maybe they changed it in the middle? So there we can use a Beno, we can just make a walk through that case file. Yeah, we can just make a walk through the case file, and we see inspect the whole image. That one inspects the whole image and it gives us good results. Yes, it has confirmed this is a JPEG image. Yeah, and you can see its timestamps, its image size, the checksums. Yeah, now after that simple inspection, after that simple investigation, from there, that's when now you bring in the skills of steganography. That's when you start asking yourself, yes, although, okay, we take it to have not yet seen any clue showing us that this image is hiding some data. Now, if this image is not hiding any data, but we first see from the steganographic skills we have, did they use any steganographic tool or so we are going to check that by using one of our tools that we used or that we learned, which helps us do the stigma analysis. So I'm going to say sig. I want to see the seed of this file. Case. Yeah, I want to see its seed. Let it process, calculate the seeds, and we see if there was used any steganographic tool to do this file or to do this image, because we have confirmed it is an image. It is a JPEG image. Yes. So it is processing, looking for the seeds, seeing if it has some seeds. These skills, you can use them for the CTFs. It can give you a hint of how to move around with a CTF, and also in real world it can help you make investigations. Maybe you have been working on a case and you found that this same file exists on more than two laptops or computers of the people you're investigating. So you will ask yourself by default, how come this file is saved in this way and it's on all the three machines? It's on the three machines. Then you can start from there and investigate that file if really it's what they call it, or if really what it is shown to be is what is inside that file, is what it carries. So it can help you in that way. In those simple investigations, it can help you to come up with a certain conclusion. Yeah, maybe they were using it to carry their data, like we saw that images carry data, they carry other files. Maybe it has always been used as a cover file, you never know. So you make those simple investigations and see and confirm. And someone without steganographic skills will have ended long time and said, no, this is just a real image, and passed by without doing more inspections and more investigations to confirm his conclusion. So as we can see, it is done processing the seeds, and it has told us this is an encrypted algorithm. They used Riano 128. Someone who is skilled in steganography, you know, this is a default algorithm for a certain tool, and the encryption mode is CBC. Still, it is a default encryption mode of a certain tool, so you already know. And remember, StigHide only, StigSeek only analyzes and deals with tools that have been done by StigHide, meaning since it has given this result, this is a clue that maybe this file was made by StigHide. So we can go ahead and try our luck and try cracking it. Yeah, we can go ahead and try to crack it. So we can say stick 6 crack. This case file, yeah, and we give it the word list. Our word list is located in and it is rock u.txt. Yeah, wow. So it has even already cracked the file. The file had a very simple password or passphrase, which was 1234, and the original file was 2gb.gpg, and extracting it has been saved as case.out. So let us list and see if we have that file there. So remember, we had only two files here, our case and cyber which was the original, and our case which was the replica or the bit by bit copy. But now we have the third one, which is case out. Yeah, so now you can go ahead and see what is in case out. Still, you will need to first see its permissions. Case.out. So it has a permission to write. We first remove it by changing the mode. Remember, you are working on a case, so you cannot just conclude it from finding that maybe that is also carrying more other things. It is case.out. So we go ahead and see if really they have been removed. Out. Yeah. So the permissions have been removed. It's now a read only. Okay, so we can see the details of that file. Case.out. It is a JPEG image. So if it is a JPEG image, we can maybe first display it. And we see if really it is, wow, it's a good art. Yeah. So from there, we can see its metadata. Yeah, we can go ahead and see its metadata by using our EXIF tool. Case.out. So you can record its metadata. Yeah. So you can see the file name, the file size, modification date, access date, file permissions. You have changed it to only write. Yes, and what I forgot before seeing the metadata, but still it can be done, was to give it we're supposed to give it to hash it. We're supposed to hash that file. Yes, and record that So this was the final image. This was the final image. If you want, you can still go ahead in all the processes to confirm that it's the final image. Yeah, but the same processes you're going to pass through are the very ones we have displayed up. You have to give it a hash. We have hashed it. You can see the hash. After you make its replica or bit by bit copy that you have to move on with to check and to change, to do every other thing that you're going to do on that file. Remember, you don't have to use the original, you have to move with copies. So even if you get another file, you'll be supposed to make again another replica, hash it, and move on with that. Yeah, thank you for practicing. Thank you. We have practiced together. Yeah, we shall always be practicing as we learn and improve our skills, improve our speed all the time. Thank you. We meet again and we practice together.